Is solo wild camping scary? It's a question I've been thinking of a lot recently, and I don't think there's really a straight answer. I know that might sound like a bit of a cop-out, and it is to be fair, but everyone is different. Some people might have never been camping before, and they're terrified at the thought of being alone in the middle of nowhere. Some people might not mind it at all, they might be used to being alone. And then there's those people that are sort of in the middle, which is where I'd say I am. I've been solo camping for around 2 years now, pretty much every week. And there's certain things that I've learned over the years that have helped me get over that initial fear that comes with being alone out in the wild. So I wanted to share some with you and hopefully you find it helpful. There's probably a million different tips and tricks to get over that fear, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. So I've decided to condense it into my top 5 best ways to get over the fear of solo wild camping. Before I start, I just realised I don't have anywhere to sit because this ground is pretty boggy. So I'm going to pitch my tent and then I'll get back to you. Right, let's get this tent pitched. Don't know if you can hear that noisy plane in the background, ruining my filming. Man, so selfish. This is my favourite way to pitch a tent. You basically just chuck it up into the air and it magically pitches itself. Here, I'll show you. Oh, that was a bit anticlimactic. Right, I'll get back to you. Voila, how good is that? It's not like I just spent the last 5 minutes pitching the tent off camera. We'll forget about that. Right, let's have a seat. Oh, that is much better. Just have a seat. Right, let's tie this up so it's not flapping about in front of me. I've got some notes here just to keep me right, but just pretend I don't have them. Place them down here. This is 100% off the cuff. Right, let's get into it. I've done enough faffing about. Number 5 is start small and build up. Whenever someone tells me this, it sounds fairly obvious, but it's actually a really helpful way to think about it. Say you're planning to hike the West Highland Way. Now a trail like that involves at least 4 to 6 nights of being alone in your tent, sometimes maybe even more. So instead of heading out on the trail, spending one night absolutely hating it and then knowing you've got another 3-4 nights in your tent alone, just heading out for one night seems a lot more manageable, and then you can see if you actually like it and then sort of build up to bigger trails. You could even spend the first night in a campsite. It doesn't have to be wild camping, and then you know you're surrounded by other people if things go wrong, and it's just a nice way to ease yourself into it. So yeah, start small and build up. Well, it's obvious that it's spring. I'm getting attacked by midges already. Oh man, I think a forest was the wrong place to do this. But number 4 is don't be afraid to turn back if you're not sure. There's a lot of negativity surrounding turning back from a camp, or bailing a camp as people say. And I myself have done it in the past several times, and I've even given myself a hard time for it when I get home, which is pretty stupid, because it's obvious that it's not going to be plain sailing every single time. Even the most experienced campers are going to have days where they're just not 100% feeling it, and a number of things can affect how you feel on any given day, whether that be how you've slept, your mood, the weather, and even the place you're camping, the terrain. So yeah, don't give yourself a hard time and don't be ashamed to turn back when you're not 100% feeling it, and you can always return to give it another shot when you're more up for the task. I'm not used to talking this much. Need a drink. Number 3 is visit the place before you decide to camp. I'm sure many of you will agree that you feel a lot more confident in a place that you're familiar with than a place that you've never been before. And it's for this reason that I would advise people to visit the place you're going to camp before the actual camp itself. Even if it's just a one-time visit to scope out the terrain. So many times I've stressed over water sources, if the terrain's going to be boggy, rocky, and even if there's actually space to pitch a tent. And a map can only tell you so much. So many times I've seen like a little river or a stream on a map, and I've seen that the contour lines are far enough apart, it's nice and flat. When I get there, it's really hilly and there's not a water source because there's been a dry spell, which we don't actually get a lot of in Scotland. But yeah, I definitely advise you to visit that place. And you could even bring your tent with you and pitch it. You don't have to stay the night, but you could sit in it like I'm doing right now for half an hour, maybe read a book or something like that. And it just like familiarises yourself with the area and with being in a tent. Because if you never stayed in a tent before, then it's quite a weird thing, to be honest, to be, if you're claustrophobic, you're sort of just in a little small area. So yeah, getting used to spending time in the tent is also really helpful. So yeah, definitely a good one. Visit the place before you camp. Number 2 is YouTube videos. Now this one is pretty closely linked to the previous one, but it's been really helpful for me on my solo camping journey. I've used this method over the years plenty of times, and it's really helped me pick a certain spot. The chances are, if you search up on YouTube the spot that you're going to camp, that someone has camped there, because there's so many wild camping videos on YouTube now. So if you just sort of put in the spot you're thinking of camping, the chances are someone's camped in that exact spot or the general area. The chances are as well the YouTuber will mention if there's a water source, if the ground is rocky, if it's bumpy, and that's just an easy way for you to find out that information without actually having to go there or without having to stress about it before the camp itself. It's also just a nice way to convince your mind that it's possible, because so many times I've thought about camping in an area but I'm not too sure if it's actually possible, but by seeing someone else do it, it just convinces me that, well, they have done it, so obviously I can do it. So yeah, I found YouTube videos really helpful. My last tip is to film your adventure. So this last tip is a bit of a weird one, but I'd actually say that it's been my best method to get over the fear of solo camping, and that is to just film yourself on the adventure, film the process. It's weirdly calming to get out a camera and start talking to it. I think it just distracts you from what's around you. So if you're afraid of the surroundings or you hear a weird noise or something like that, it's actually good to just talk to the camera. Like, it feels like you're almost talking to someone. It feels like you guys are here with me. So I found that's a great way. It also holds you accountable in a weird way. If I know that people are depending on me getting out for a camp, then it's much easier to get motivated on the day. If the weather's bad or if I'm just not feeling it, then it's pretty hard to push myself to get out. But if I know that people are depending on me, then it makes it a lot easier. So yeah, I'd say that's a bit of an unorthodox one, but definitely my best tip for getting over the fear of solo camping. Right, I'm going to get up. I'm actually getting a little bit sore and I'm getting eaten alive down on the ground here. Finally, I wanted to say that it's perfectly natural to be afraid. Don't be ashamed of it. Even the most experienced campers still get times when they're afraid. I've been doing it for 2 years now, so I wouldn't say I'm particularly experienced, but I still get times where I'm slightly on edge or not 100% feeling it. But through the help of other people and tips I've learnt along the way, I've been able to get over that initial fear. So yeah, it's perfectly natural, unless you're some sort of camping wizard and you're never afraid of anything, in which case, fair play. Right, I'm going to get this tent packed away because I am getting eaten alive by midges. Right, let's go. Get away from these horrible midges. So those are my 5 main tips for people who are new to solo wild camping. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, then feel free to subscribe. It would be much appreciated. I hope I didn't ramble on too much. I think I came up with my 5 best methods. And if you feel like supporting the channel that little bit extra, then you could consider becoming a member for a small price each month. It helps me afford a little bit of fuel to get out on more adventures, and you also get a few perks to make it worth your while. Thank you for the support, and I'll catch you on the next adventure.